Hello everyone, and welcome to the episode 3 of Let's Hear from Her. I'm Bidar Bakht, and today I'm here with the team behind Boss Girls and our special guest, Angel Alliance. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Why don't we just start? And if you could just give us a short introduction about yourself?
Mhm. Of course. So my name is Maddie, so I'm CEO of Angel Alliance, and I started my own business a few years ago. And when I started my own business, I really had no idea about how to really do it, how to really start it. So I kind of had to build that up from the ground, kind of up, and I really struggled. So I think that experience gave me some insight into how hard it really is to start your own business. And I'm now working as a VC analyst and at a startup incubator. So I've seen kind of both sides of the spectrum. So I've seen the starting your own business and the investing in businesses and helping businesses. And what kind of made me sad is that I rarely work with women and I rarely interview women. And I kind of just really wanted to do something about it, which is kind of how Angel Alliance was formed. So Angel Alliance is I'm trying to create a community that I would have wanted when I was first starting my business. So yeah, we're all about funding female-led businesses and hosting loads of exclusive networking and educational events as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a powerful message that you're trying to give. Tell
Thank
us more
you.
about it. I mean, what inspiration do you get? What keeps you going through all of it?
Yeah, I mean it's a full-time job running a project, I'm not gonna lie. But I think just hearing people that I'm helping and like hearing their stories, I think is so powerful, and it genuinely gives me so much motivation. I think because like I said, I have started my own business, and I think starting your own business is also a very lonely thing to do because often you are working those extra hours and you are often doing them alone. And I think a community can be an incredible thing where if you're all going through the same thing, that you're kind of all in it together. And I think that's kind of where I get my motivation from. But yeah, a lot of long hours at the moment.
Exactly. And starting it all alone is quite difficult when like looking out for support and everything.
Hmm.
It kind of gets hard. So,
Yeah.
yeah, tell us about the thought processing behind your project. I mean, is
Yeah.
it completely, like based on women empowerment or something like that?
Yeah, so I mean, our kind of mission statement is that we educate, fund, and connect female entrepreneurs. So the way it works is it functions as a DAO. I'm not sure if I should maybe explain what a DAO is or
No, no, go ahead.
okay, cool. So a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. And the way I kind of visualize this is a normal kind of company runs with a CEO at the top and then the employees kind of beneath, and then the CEO is always giving the orders. Whereas a DAO works as if all the employees are kind of on the same level and they can all make the decisions. So, what that means for Angel Alliance is that female entrepreneurs will come to us and pitch their startup ideas, and they will pitch it to, for example, say all of the employees that are on the same level, which for us is our community. And then they have the power to vote for which ones they want to fund. So instead of me, who's kind of running this company at the moment, like making the decisions, it will actually be the community that makes the decisions on who we kind of want to fund. So that's how we'll be funding like female entrepreneurs and startups and everything like that. But I'm also thinking the way I'm thinking about kind of this NFT collection is almost like an exclusive membership card. So, and this card will give you access to events, whether that's in person or online. I'm really pro doing in person events, so that could be really cool. And whether that be networking or educational. And I want this to be, yeah, kind of like a pass in a way. And I was part of like this female entrepreneur group at where I'm based, and I found it really valuable going to all these in-person sessions. So I'm kind of trying to replicate that, but on a more kind of global scale.
No, I mean, I like the idea, the way you are wanting to create a team and not a job, like where you
Yeah.
just give orders and it's like amazing. So tell us what challenges you faced while launching your project or what
Hmm.
are you still going through?
Yes. So at the moment, I think our biggest, I would say, challenge is kind of raising awareness around the project. So obviously, we are still growing, and we are growing quite quickly, but that is the initial kind of challenge. I'm not sure if you would agree with this, like running your own project, but at the moment, that's our current challenge. But we are growing, and it's great to see that we're having so many amazing people in our Discord, and I can't wait to grow it.
Definitely, I totally agree. I mean, creating a community and finding people who
Yeah.
support your cause is kind of hectic. Like
Yes.
going into spaces, trying to connect with people,
Yes.
and then looking out for people who would actually support you in this. That's kind
Yes.
of is hard.
Yes, of course. I think I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm happy to have like a team of people around me that support me. And I think because it's my kind of company, I am the one speaking out. And you may sometimes hear Danny, who is our social media head, because she's in the US, so she does all the ones when I'm asleep, all the AMAs and everything.
I mean,
Where are you guys based?
we're basically based from Pakistan, but
Okay.
currently I'm in the UK.
Oh, where in the UK?
Oh well, right now I came to Ireland to my uncle's house, but yeah,
Ah,
but mostly sometimes in Manchester or England, London. Sorry.
okay.
Yeah. Where are
That's
you based
great.
from?
I am in Bath. You probably won't know it. It's like an ancient Roman city, pretty much. It's the best
Okay.
way.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that the first, like the difficult step is to create awareness.
Hmm.
And yeah, and definitely you will get support from us all the way. We
Thank you.
totally
You
encourage you.
too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So yeah, tell us, what is women empowerment to you?
Hmm. So, women empowerment to me. So, I've always kind of studied very male dominated like subjects. So, I have an engineering background and I've done like maths and everything like that. So, I've always kind of gone the route that typically women don't really go down. And I think for me, women empowerment is trying to channel more women into those kind of channels that aren't necessarily subscribed to as much by women. And I think just making it's kind of about equality. So I am also a feminist, but I think feminism, the word, gets thrown around a lot. And I think especially when men think of a feminist, not all men, but it can be blown out of proportion and they think, oh, all feminists hate men. But I think that is completely incorrect. I think what feminism stands for is complete equality. And I do think there have been examples where that has been taken out of context, and maybe it has been kind of blown out of proportion a bit. But yeah, I think for me, kind of women empowerment and everything like that is being a feminist and believing in kind of equal opportunities, and maybe not even opportunities, but just kind of changing societal norms in a way to make it more acceptable for, I don't know, say a woman to go into engineering or starting her own business or all these different things. I think it's more a societal shift, which is happening. We have made so much progress. It's incredible, but I think it is just going to take time. I think, and just how can we get more women into tech, and just answering those questions and creating loads of incentives to kind of attract talent. I think that, yeah, that's a very long winded explanation, but that's kind of what women empowerment means to me.
Yeah, basically, I totally agree. Women empowerment is feminism, but when we
Hmm.
say out the word feminism, it people mostly consider it as we being the activist,
Yes.
wherein we don't. We are
Yeah.
asking for basic rights. Like, we are not asking you to give us more, we're asking you at least give us the room in which we can share a space, an equal space. And they consider that you're like against all men. And no, it's not like that. I get it. The male community,
Yeah.
probably most of them, are kind of not so good. They're not supportive. They'll come off as harsh because they don't,
Hmm.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is
No,
that? Why
I
they do
think,
that?
yeah, I completely agree. And I think I have been in a very privileged position myself where I have been able to even go and study these kind of things. And I am very, very grateful for all those opportunities. I think because there are people in the world that don't have these opportunities. So I am really, really grateful for them. I think it's just, even in like very productive societies, it's just kind of like I said, like a kind of shift in societal norms to make it okay and kind of more acceptable for women to go into more technical degrees, or actually maybe want to go into more technical degrees. But I guess, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on this. What do you think needs to
No,
change?
I think what needs to change is that we should be able to choose a career path, Like, we shouldn't be told to do that. When I've seen so many women in civil engineering, and I've literally heard men being against them that it's not your job, you can't be a civil engineer. Why? At least let her try. You just, like knocking her off at the moment from the very start. You won't even let her begin with that. So, yeah, and honestly, from, like, as you know, from the whole subcontinent, it is kind of like that. They're it's because it's a male dominating society in the subcontinent. So you are told there are professions and there are, like career paths that have already been decided by the society because you're not too good for those. You can't go into any field you like, like you have to live up with the norms or live up with the let how should I put it together, the things they've decided for us to become more acceptable because they have just, like considered a mindset, considered an idea of us being women that they're supposed to stay at homes, they're supposed to take care of the house. That's all they should do. And even if they want to go into professional fields, they should go into teaching as doctors. That's it. Engineering is kind of, like still on the edge. Girls are still struggling, and I think they're making more progress than guys in those fields.
Yeah, I think even in entrepreneurship, there's research
Exactly.
that shows that when a woman does receive funding, their return on the investment is actually a lot higher than when they give it to a male entrepreneur. I mean, I guess there also isn't a lot of data around that because there are so few women that are funded. But I just think that's also a very interesting kind of statistic.
Yeah, because what I is because when we see a human brain, like the female brain is designed to multitask. So when she goes into something and she puts her whole focus into one thing, particular thing, that makes magnificent, like success in that because she doesn't have to focus on any other thing. Whereas when you consider a male brain, males cannot, So we're on the edge of that because since we can do multitask and when we don't have to multitask, we can be more efficient in that way. So yeah.
Yeah, of
I
course.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
women
I
across the
think
world they all need to be heard. So
Yeah, I completely agree. And like I said, I am in a very privileged position where I have been able to kind of do everything I wanted to do. And it makes me so sad that there are still places in this world where that you don't have that equal opportunity. And I hope that one day that will change and everything will kind of be equal. And yeah, that's kind of I
hopefully,
think that's what
yeah, at least it
yeah.
will be a peaceful and what do we say, an acceptable environment for everybody. And yeah, we will change that together, like, I mean, we are women led projects actually. So yeah, we might bring the change. We're at
Yes,
least trying.
hopefully.
Yeah, but because what I think is, the word feminism, I don't think it's for us, since you're privileged, I'm privileged. It's for those women who actually don't have access. We who can talk or who can get our word out there is for the women or girls out there who cannot come up to these platforms. It's basically for them. We're asking not for our rights because if somebody comes up to me and say, "What rights do you need?" He's totally correct. I don't need rights. I need rights for the women who can't talk, who can't speak up at this level. So yeah, what do you think on
Yeah,
that?
I completely like I don't think anyone can disagree with that really. I mean, it's I think it will be interesting to see the direction the world takes, and hopefully it will be in a good direction. And I think even just kind of hosting spaces like these and just kind of educating other people would kind of even make a small change. And I think this is like just educating yourself around this topic, I think is the crucial next step into kind of making equality happen all around the world.
Yes, exactly. And we as an NFT project have a role in shaping the future. What do you think on that? Like,
Yeah, I think that's really true. Like whenever I still get a lot of pushback when I speak to like my friends, especially I had a conversation yesterday. So I actually had a meeting in the metaverse the other day, and I was saying, "Oh my god, this is like the coolest thing." It was honestly crazy. But then when I told my friend, she was like, "Yeah, but why is that exciting?" And I think there is still like with normal society to transition to like understanding and using NFTs, there is still a long way to go because a lot of people's mindsets are so against it. But I do believe NFTs, they are gaining more utility and they are building these incredible communities. And I think people will slowly start to realize that. But there is still like a lag and a delay where that, or that I have experienced. I don't know if you guys have experienced the same, where I'm like a lot of people don't understand what I'm doing. Kind of, it's not that they try and put it down; it's just that they don't understand it, so then they question it a bit more. Whereas if I was to start, say, this exact community for female entrepreneurs, but in a Web 2 space, it wouldn't be like questioned at all. It's just because it's a Web 3 space that it's more questioned, and yeah, I think there's a lot of education that needs to happen around that.
yeah, but you know what I think is why people are against these NFTs? It's because yesterday I was watching an NFT that sold for like, I don't know, for like $12,000. I forgot about the thing. Well, it was nothing. I saw it and I thought, I mean, what people are against is that people come up and sell anything they want to, and that's not the cause. Like recently, I was seeing an ad on Instagram. I just read that somebody sold their selfies, and I thought, why? So no, this shouldn't be like that. Like we, when we are coming into these projects, we're actually wanting to spread a cause. We're spreading something, and so some of the people like these, they just like knock off the purpose of it. And I've seen like
Yeah.
teenage children. I was in a space yesterday. These teenagers can come and they'll like abuse, and they will just say bad words, and so you'll get frustrated. Like, why are you even here? If you are not interested in this, you shouldn't be here. At least don't discourage the other people. They're trying to do something.
Yeah, no,
So
I agree, and I think sometimes it can be not discouraging, but when you have to continually prove the value of like this Web3 community or why NFTs actually have utility and why they are more than just a JPEG. Like I feel like I'm on like a record on repeat most of the time, but I think it's good that these conversations are happening. Like I'm grateful that I am being asked like 10 times a day, what is an NFT? Because I know that I have educated at least one more person. Even if they don't want to get into NFTs, that's fine. I think that transition will happen with time. But
obviously.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what your kind of experience is like with starting your own project. Have you kind of had any comments around that or?
No, thankfully I didn't have any. Yeah, I did have kind of, like negative or discouraging comments around my friends and family because they were not aware of what NFT is, and I still do because I remember I was doing the space yesterday, and my uncle just came. He said, "Why are you just still into this stuff? It's useless. Stop wasting your time in this because it's not real." And I was like, I know you're right that these are just to you, these are just animated pictures. That's it. You cannot see the vision or what I'm thinking. You cannot get into my thought process. You will come in this path, but it's going to take a long time for you to understand what's actually happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that like it genuinely blows my mind the potential in Web3. Like I've been thinking, oh, maybe I should buy some land in the metaverse, so then I can potentially do like startup
Exactly.
accelerators in like the metaverse, become the first startup accelerator in the metaverse. That would be incredible and just
Metaverse is
crazy.
going to be such a huge success. And you know what? What we as people don't understand about metaverses. This metaverse is actually, like when WhatsApp introduced video calls, it was like you're practically in a different country and you can talk the person in another country, and we came across. It doesn't even matter the distance because you were. So what I think is what Metaverse is gonna do, it's gonna, like if you want to have a world, you're gonna get a profile picture, for example, that's your character. You get into Metaverse, that's it, and you can travel the world. So it kind of is, like both. It can have a positive impact and as much as negative impact. Negative in a sense that people will come up as, okay, we did see the world, we did go in a world tour, but it was all virtual. We did experience it, but it was virtual. We didn't, didn't experience it in real life. So what do you think on that? What are your thoughts on Metaverse?
I think that's where a lot of the hesitancy around switching to the metaverse comes from, because like when I've asked my friends like why would you not want to do that, and then they're always like, well, why would I not just want to see them in person? And then it's like, well, what if they're on the other side of the world? But I think it's an opportunity that we can do this all virtually rather than something holding us back.
Exactly.
But I think that's also something that society will slowly adapt to. Like when Web 1 progressed to Web 2, there was so much kind of backlash around it.
Yeah, exactly. And now
the
too,
same
when
will
people
happen.
are, like moving to Web 3.0, and now that is going to be another, hassle for everybody around to accept and to adapt. Yeah, exactly.
I think one question, or not question, but like thought I've been having is, do you think it will have a negative or positive impact on people's mental health, like transitioning
What
into
I
Web3 in the metaverse?
what I think is, yeah, if you think on physical health, well, yeah, it's kind of much of a negative impact. But yeah, if you're like experiencing like me wanting to show, for example, how a girl in the subcontinent lives, it would be easier for the people in the West to see it virtually than to actually go there, because it's not possible for everyone to, like travel. So I'm still, like in the middle of chaos, let's say, because I can't decide, is it positive or is it negative? I'm kind of in the middle of that. It has both effects. It can be negative if we're like looking onto just physical aspects, but it is a positive when you're just, like having the opportunity to at least see and feel what others are doing. So it's that.
Yeah,
So we need to be educated on this more and more.
Yeah, I think there's going to be great potential to connect more. Like you can connect with more people all around the world. I also just question as to, like, this is just a thought that I have, like, will it make people less able to create connections in person? And will that have a negative impact on society as a whole? Like, because if you're spending all this time in the metaverse and not kind of in real life, do you think that
exactly,
that
people
will have
become more
like
introverts? They'll forget how to communicate with others. Like,
and will
yeah, exactly. Like, what I think is, like how last year after COVID, work from home became so easy and so adaptable to people that most of them don't even want to join the office because they say it's easier. We wake up, we sit in front of a laptop, that's it. We don't have to change, get ready. We don't have to talk to people. So, yeah, it is kind of changing the world. And what I've seen is, the younger the children are coming, the more they're into these social media. We're not into those stuff. Like, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I have a younger sister. She is 13 now, I think, growing up so quickly. But God, I hate it. She's always on Instagram. She's always posting. And as her older sister, I don't really like it as much. But I was probably doing a similar thing when I was her age. But she started at like 11 posting on social media. So yeah, I think younger children are adapting
because
so much quicker.
When I consider myself, I think I had more interest in playing outside than, like sitting and in front of the TV or playing video games. I was more interested in, go out to cycling, go out for swimming. So yeah, going out with friends. They're like, my friend is coming online and we're going to be playing a game. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I always tell, like I have like 3 younger siblings, and I always tell them when I was your age, I was like, I had a pen pen and paper, and that's all I had to entertain myself. And then they've got all these different tablets and all these different things. But I also wonder, like, how society as a whole will change based off of younger kids getting into technology like a lot quicker. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. I just think we have to like also be aware that
well, let's say we all have to just wait and watch, and let's see where the
yeah,
future takes it.
I know. Yeah.
Actually, sometimes I wonder, Mark Zuckerberg just introduced the word metaverse and it didn't even explain us like what was actually behind this whole thing. Why did he want to create a virtual world? And sometimes I really want to, like just get into the details. He should just tell us why. What can we say? So yeah, let me ask you, how do you define success?
I think sexist is kind of like not giving like the same opportunities because of your gender. I think that's how I would define it.
Well, kind of, it is true.
What do you think it means?
Success to me, I don't know. I mean, just like if I'm able to spread the cause, what is behind what I'm doing, then that is success to me. Like if it's going in a positive route, and I'm achieving everything that I wanted to happen for the cause or what I've thought, then that is success to me. I don't consider that making more money is success. No, I mean, yeah, it is important that you earn, but to me, spreading the cause is more important than having more earning, because to some people money is more important than anything else. So do you agree or not?
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think that there are bigger issues to solve within gender equality than the gender pay gap in like progressing societies, like because there are women that really do not have equal rights to men, and I think those are the societies that really need like feminism, and
yeah,
we
they
need to
be
make the
educated on
changes.
that. There
are still a lot of, like, for example, that a gender pay gap does exist, and like, for example, there are a lot less women in entrepreneurship as well, and I think there are still issues within like a progressive society. But I agree. I think that obviously it's a lot more important to solve issues from like very, very disadvantaged like women in other societies.
I mean, let's consider our own projects. Like if we sell our NFTs, it's a plus point. But with actually we are able to tell people and educate them, like express the cause behind our projects, then that is more important, because we'll be having a community that is supporting us. And along the way, yeah, if they buy that our stuff, that is, like plus point. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're like all these incredible women-led projects. I love them. I love all the spaces. I love everything to do with them, and I think we are all raising awareness. And it's also really amazing to see that there are so many men in the spaces, and they always come up and ask questions. And I think just by even just like having this conversation right now, we're probably educating someone somewhere. And I think, yeah, I think the NFT space, and especially women-led projects, everything like that, can make a very positive impact.
Exactly. And when actually, the male members of this community support us, that is so encouraging. I mean, there are men out there who come up in spaces and ask questions, and they're like, we will support you. And they actually do. They will tell people around themselves that support this project and stuff like that. So, yeah. So,
yeah,
for the people. Yeah, for the people listening us who are newbies and like are looking away to enter the NFT space, for them, drop in some of your recommendation. What would you recommend them? How would you guide them?
I remember, I feel like my number one piece of advice is don't get intimidated. When I first joined this space, I had no idea what any of the terminology meant, and all these like big fancy words, I literally had no idea. I think breaking it down to first principles. So really understanding and getting to grips with actually what is an NFT, what is a cryptocurrency, and kind of understanding all the systems around that. So there are so many amazing resources. So whether that's like YouTube articles, everything like that. Like I think it's just about don't feel like scared to tackle it because it is such a big kind of there is so much to learn. So don't feel intimidated by that and just start small and you will get there. And also remind yourself that everyone starts somewhere and you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's like chapter 100. Like that's just not possible. But yeah, that's kind of my advice. What about you?
Yeah, what I think is do your research because when you go into these spaces, there are so many fragmented information you'll get because people will guide you, but it's just in so many small fragments that a newbie cannot understand it. He cannot process it. Like somebody told me this, somebody told me that. So, no. Ask questions when you go in these NFT spaces, but do your own research. I know it's hard, but do it. And you never be afraid to ask questions. Raise your hand, ask a question, even if you think it's a stupid or silly one, because it's not. Nothing is silly or stupid when you are learning, because if you won't ask, you'll never know.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, for those who are, like looking up ways to hop onto your projects, share your project in details and tell us, are you whitelisting? What is your minting procedure? Where can we read, like all about you and your Discord group? Everything. Tell us.
Okay, I will. I'll try and cover as much of that as possible. So we are doing giveaways for pre-sale spots or whitelist spots. Like kind of we have them scheduled in like a diary, so you have to kind of look out for them when we are doing giveaways. We have our Discord live. I think we made it live a few days ago, which is really exciting, and the members are growing, and I'm really looking forward to building a community. And I definitely want to get some more educational content within the Discord as well. We also have a website and Instagram, but I also want to say, like, if you ever have any questions around the project, my DMs on Twitter and on Discord are always open, and I'm always happy to kind of answer any questions. And yeah, I will be hosting a kind of like a Discord live today at 7:30 p.m. GMT around female funding. So just the kind of the topic about it. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how much awareness I can raise and what kind of community I can build. And it's all, yeah, I'm very, very excited about it all.
And what is your minting procedure? Have you, decided on a blockchain yet?
Yes, yeah, we're minting on Ethereum and we are minting on the 12th of March. I keep saying February. I keep going onto all these calls and I've had like so many calls before and then I keep saying 12th of February and then everyone's like, what, tomorrow? And I'm like, no.
So, like, it's going to be the start of the March, mid of the March, or by end of March? And you
12th of March.
Oh, so excited for your project.
Yeah, I know. When are you guys minting?
We're just deciding on that right now.
Okay.
We're still working on creating more awareness around people about the movement because we've recently, activated all our socials like TikTok, our YouTube channel, and this podcast is going to go on YouTube as well. So,
wow. Thank you. And I'm also just curious, as an NFT project, how have you found the engagement on a platform like TikTok? Because that's something we've been considering, but it's not like a very common NFT
what I've
friendly.
learned. Yeah, let me tell you. What I've learned so far is if you go, post your TikToks with the trending music, it will have maximum reach because right now people are so much into TikToks, they're like scrolling and using TikTok more than they're using Instagram. So yeah, because its algorithm is quite easier, what I've heard, because I've been into spaces where people will talk about join TikTok, and I've asked them, and what they've told me is that always, post your TikTok content with the trending music. The more the trendier the music, whatever you say, like I remember last week, the music tick 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 boom, that song is. something like that. So yeah, people have been posting their captions and then posting them with the trending music. And yeah, TikTok is going to be a much easier platform to create awareness and letting people know, joining your Discord and stuff like that. Because Twitter Spaces, I still don't get the algorithm of Twitter. It's still so hard for me. I mean, I don't understand it. But yeah, TikTok is going to be massive. You should, like consider doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think there's a lot of power within using platforms like TikTok because there's an opportunity to onboard people within the NFT space. Like for example, for us, I've been doing a few posts on LinkedIn because I guess my primary audience with kind of being a VC analyst and doing all these startup things is my connections are very startup based. So I actually found that LinkedIn posts are really, really popular for our project. And I think we're just trying to put together like a strategy. How can we like onboard new people into this space, but also target people that already understand NFTs and are already in the Twitter ecosystem? So I think there's definitely a balance because also time is a limited resource, as I've definitely learned, and I still want my 6 hours minimum of sleep. So yeah, I think it's just about finding that balance. And also, I think for me, because I see Angel Alliance as a long-term project, there's also so much I can do once we have minted and everything like that already. And I think that's another key factor to kind of think about when you're kind of developing a project.
A question that you actually asked, Web3 have an impact on the society. I think Web3 is going to bring a very good impact on the society because it's totally decentralized.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I think I got rugged.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was like, what happened? Am I not? So yeah, tell us about the best advice that helped you so far.
Yeah, you can go on, then I'll actually add my comments on Web3.
Okay. So you mean like ever in life or in
both?
This project?
Tell us what's the best advice to help you.
Oh God, that's a big question.
You being a bigger person.
Yeah, oh God. The best advice. I think God, I think something that I've learned, or a big kind of ethos that I kind of try and get people on board with, is find your passion, because you will never work a day in your life. I think that's advice that has really stuck with me. And I think I have worked incredibly hard, which I think, I never like bragging about things or like saying that I work really hard for things, because I feel like, I don't know, I almost feel like guilty in a way. And I know that's probably that's my kind of insecurity or whatever, but I am really happy that I have kind of worked as hard as I have to kind of be able to create these opportunities for myself. Because I am, like, for me to even have studied engineering, I'm not a very naturally smart person, but I'm really, really grateful that I managed to and everything like that. But honestly, if you find your passion, like, it doesn't really feel like what I'm doing right now doesn't feel like work. Like, I love having these conversations and speaking to all these incredible people in this space, and I will happily spend like probably way too long on it. My friends probably think I'm a bit crazy for how much time I spend on this NFT stuff. But yeah, I think like I said, finding your passion, like genuinely, it's changed my life.
True. And so yeah, the best advice that somebody has ever given to me is like every day is a new day. Consider like every day is a new opportunity for you. So it helped me out in both this, in like real life and as well as in my project. I consider every day as a new day, as a new opportunity.
Yes, I completely agree with that, because to be honest with you, especially running a project or even like starting my own business, I remember having this feeling like, God, there are some days where you just feel like kind of throwing it all away and being like, oh my God, I can't do it. Or you think it's all going to go wrong, or like, I remember even when I started my business, there were so many times I was like, oh, I could just give up now. That would be the easy option and just not carry on. But I always told myself that tomorrow is a new day, and it always was a new day, and then it's an opportunity. So I absolutely love that piece of advice.
Exactly. So yeah, Khushu, you were wanting to say something?
Yeah, I was just telling that I feel like Web3 is going to have a really good impact on the society because of its decentralization and everyone having the feeling of being actually heard is the beauty of Web3, and this trustless space and actually everyone actually engaging is the best part of the Web3. And everything is being controlled by the smart contract. So there is no human in between that. So I feel like it's a better, and it's going to actually shape a better world for every single human being that is actually being involved in it. Moreover, I wanted to say that in every field and profession in life, you actually need a balance. And if everyone can maintain that balance, Web3 is actually a good place.
Yeah, I think it's being self-aware of finding your limits and everything like that. But I completely agree. I think, like for example, the DAO kind of movement and the fact that there are so many DAOs being created. I think it would just be even like interesting to see how in like 10 years how they will have evolved and how DAOs will be used. Like, would they be ever be used in like organizations? Yeah. I mean, I think there's so much still to happen. It's so exciting.
Okay, so I feel like every single organization is going to have a DAO because of the corruption and other cases and government actually intimating all the money. DAOs are going to come in every single financial as well as government sector because it's a better way and efficient way. And yeah, that are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I definitely think because I think there's a lot of unhappiness at the moment with kind of how things are run. I think there would have to be like, for example, for our DAO, we're having like a council in the DAO. So like some of the original members will get council status, which means that, for example, for us, that means that they will filter the initial like applications of startups just to make sure that when providing like the ones that actually really care and really want the funding. So I think there will need to be like some slight structure around how like the DAO is actually organized as well.
Yeah, I
But I
totally
think,
agree.
yeah,
I totally agree on that. This whole space, this whole metaverse is the new future, and it's going to be great.
yes,
What? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that even if children are being involved in the metaverse and they understand this technology better, it's better for them because because it's going to actually help them become financially independent at a very young age, and they don't have to actually answer any boss. And that is the beauty of Web3. What are your thoughts on that?
yes, I absolutely love that. I think what I've noticed is like with running this project is I love not having a boss. It's really really cool. I mean, I guess you have to work a lot harder. Well, I find that I probably do, but I think when you're working on something for yourself, there's a lot more motivational. For example, like this project is working on something for me, but also for other people in a way because I want to raise awareness around female entrepreneurship. But I feel so much more motivated doing this than like helping my boss, which is okay. I love all my bosses I've had in the past, but it's just I just feel like there's not kind of as much motivation there. I don't know if that kind of makes sense or
It totally makes sense. Like, I also have a company and I also deal with clients, so I completely understand your point. So yeah, working on your project, working on a certain cause that is going to bring change in the world, and it's also beneficial to you in a lot of ways. I think it's the greatest feeling one can have.
I didn't know that you also had your own business. I'm just like out of curiosity. I just ask a lot of female entrepreneurs this, but what are your kind of biggest struggles as a female entrepreneur? And that can be anything, whether it's gaining more clients or whatever it is. But what are the biggest challenges you face?
Yeah, basically, actually getting clients on board is one of the biggest challenge that I found in my starting years. But now that is actually covered up, and I think there is a male dominant society in Pakistan. So yeah, most of my clients are from abroad, so they're actually acceptable. But whenever things go wrong, I do get this bash that I'm a woman, and that is a reason that things aren't the way that they should be. But I try my level best to actually do things and organize everything. I put my 110 effort, so yeah, these are some struggles that I actually face.
Well done. Like, honestly, well done. Like, that is a tough ecosystem to start a business.
Yeah, exactly. But I think everything turns out to be better if you actually stick to your goal and you have a mission behind it. And Boss Skills is the mission that we actually back on.
Yeah, I definitely completely agree. And I think you have, I mean, I assume that you've achieved so much and so many incredible things. And I also think it's a really powerful thing to not let the fact that maybe within Pakistan there are less female entrepreneurs. Like, I love it that that hasn't held you back at all and you are still killing it.
Yeah, yes. I really want other girls to be inspired of this and actually understand that they can achieve everything they actually dream of once. And the Boss is going to provide the bridge, and I think the Boss is going to educate everyone from the Web 2 who actually feel that NFTs are not here for a longer period of time. Cryptocurrency is not the currency that is going to be the future. We're going to educate them, make them understand the beauty of Web3. This ecosystem is so friendly that people are unaware of it. Like you and me, we're supporting each other. We have a mission, we're backing it up. So people are not aware of the good side of the Web3, and I think the Boss Skills actually working on educating it.
I love that. And I think I heard briefly yesterday, I was in a spaces and I heard you kind of talk about your mission, but I'd love to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, so basically, our mission is to empower women, but not only empower women, but to actually become the bridge from Web 2 to Web 3 by telling people, by having one to one session with people, making them look at the brighter side of Web 3. Most of the people have this, like, they just know NFTs as Bored Ape Yacht Club, CryptoPunks, that's it. And they think that people are just spending money on them and that they are not here for a longer time, and they don't understand the utilities and the beauty of the NFTs that they hold. And because most of the media is actually portraying it in such a way. So Boss Skills are actually creating a whole resource where people can understand Web3, understand how beautiful it is. So yeah, that is our mission, actually, to make awareness of Web3 in the Web 2 world.
I feel like I need like a constant recording of you going around whenever I get any comments about not moving into Web3. I feel like I need you guys with me.
Yeah, definitely. We would love to actually educate people on Web3, because I think in every sector, there is some bad parts, and I understand there's no regularities, and the government is actually pissed off because they can't take tax over this. So they have their own issues. That's why the media is portraying it in such a wrong way. So in every sector, there are issues. There are rug pulls in the Web3, but it's not just that. It is a beautiful place, and people should get into it.
Yeah, I definitely completely agree. And when you look at a lot of like for me in England, it's like BBC News, and everything I read, I think probably 90% of the time about moving into Web3 or NFTs or crypto is very negative. But I also think like news sites capitalize on negativity because the way human brains are wired is we automatically like go towards the negative rather than the positive. And I don't know, this is, I think I've read this before on multiple occasions. I'm not a psychologist, don't understand science 100%, but we're more drawn towards like clicking on a title if something kind of bad has happened. So I think that's like when reading the news, that's always something that I kind of bear in mind. But I think I'm also really big on kind of making people aware of that kind of issue as well. And I think especially about cryptocurrencies, like it's always about how much money people have lost or how all these people got scammed with NFTs, and it's never about the positive as much. I mean, there are obviously exceptions, there are always going to be exceptions, but I am looking forward to Web3 and kind of like a Web3 almost like news site, like where it is more kind of a bit like Medium, where it's like more open rather than like one kind of channel deciding what they want you to hear.
Yeah, I agree. Like the media should actually cover both aspects, but they won't because their rating depends upon the negative news and they just want to earn money. So the Boss Skills is working on that. Like we have created a YouTube channel, TikTok, and we are awareing people how good this space is and how easily they can enter into it. I understand on different social media platforms, people have the curiosity to understand NFTs, understand crypto, but they don't find the right medium. And when they see such news, they actually back out. They don't understand how the space can actually help them to actually make them financially independent. And this is what Boss Skills will actually help them do. We're helping a lot of people. Obviously, it's not, I don't want to brag that, but yeah, if anyone needs any info on crypto, Web3, or you actually need any tech help in your project, we are here to help you guys until you are actually a woman, you actually support women empowerment.
I love that, and I'd also be like curious to hear like your backgrounds with like crypto and NFTs and everything like that.
Yeah, I have been engaged in crypto for I think in the end of 2019. So yeah, I have been around for a long period of time, and I have been building exchanges for clients and also dApps. So we are strong at that part. And in NFTs, I have been a collector for the past 4 to 5 months. And understanding the NFT space, we actually had to go inside it, understand it, and then we actually started our own project because we had a mission behind it and we wanted to execute it pretty well. So yeah, I have been a collector and I also collect a lot of pieces. So I am going to mint an Angel Alliance too.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna mint one of yours as well. I'm so excited.
Yeah, because what you're bringing to the table is exceptional. You're bringing a DAO for women entrepreneurs, and that is exceptional. And I would love to be a part of that.
Thank you. I am loving all this. There are so many incredible women's projects at the moment, and I guess it's interesting to also see the transition from like World of Women when they first blew up and everything like that. How almost not out of nowhere, but like this whole movement has just blown up, and there are so many incredible spaces just for women, and I think it's a really, really positive thing to see. And I've also been like a question I've also been asked is like, what if the woman trend isn't as big anymore when you launch or mint? And but my response is always, I don't think it's a trend. I think it's here to stay, and I think it's people have realized the value in the community rather than it being a trend.
Yeah, I actually agree on that. Like people are bragging about it that this is a meta and it's going to be over soon, so mint soon. It's not like that. People actually buy on your collection, on your story, and what you stand for. And this whole right now, just last two things I want to add. Like the influencers are controlling the space, and it shouldn't be like that. It is not a centralized space; it's a decentralized space. So people should understand that. Don't follow on what influencers say. If you know the project, if you know the team, buy it, and it's here to stay. That's what I add.
Exactly, I totally agree with you. I mean, it's much bigger than what people think it is. So yeah, thank you so much, Angel, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And we would also like to thank all of the listeners who have joined us live. As always, we will be here every week with a new guest, Friday 11 a.m. EST. We post the recordings, which some of you may be listening to right now, or to our YouTube channel. Let's hear from her. Feel free to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And yeah, thanks again. Thank you all for listening. And we'll see you next week. Have a good day.
Thank you.